Hello, this is Talent with Old Guy Stuff on Busy Corner Lane, and I am doing a statistical analysis of the speed of the horses. Now, this horse is the Royal Stallion, Strength 4, Speed 3, and Stamina 5. Now, the reason I'm doing this statistical analysis is because I saw some debate online as to which horse is the fastest and which horse is the best. And best, of course, is subjective, but when it comes to fastest, that's something that can be verified and proven as true or false. So, in order to make this a valid test, and I've already run this test several times this morning using the same horses for different distances. To be valid, the horses have to be going the exact same distance. So I checked the time at the beginning the run for the horse right from the stable, and I check the time when they get to East Socala Bridge. Now I chose that location because it doesn't take too long to get to. I did this before going all the way from the Acala stable to the stable at the entrance to the Garuda Wastelands, and that was just too long to do for this test, in my opinion, since I'm doing this with 4 different horse speeds, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I did it earlier today going to just the Coliseum from the Acala stable, but that's sitting there between 12 and 15 minutes depending on the horse, and that's just a grind for people that have to watch that much if you're actually going to watch the whole video. So this Royal Stallion was one that was being debated in a video about horses, and I was watching that on YouTube yesterday afternoon, and what I noticed was some people said the statistics for the horse is 4.35 and somebody else was saying 4.45. And they kind of had this, they weren't arguing, but they had this discussion going back and forth. And one person thought, well, the person with the 4.45 white stallion must be using an Amiibo or something. And they said they weren't. They just think they got the better horse. But I have played through this game 5 times now, from start to finish. I didn't make 100%, but like 99.83. And my Royal Stallion has always been a 3 for speed. So that being said, I'm not saying this other person is wrong. Maybe they just got lucky, I don't know, but I've done this 5 times and I didn't get lucky to get that. I do have some horses with 4 speed and I have horses with 5 speed. So I won't talk for the entire video, but I will leave timestamps in the description in case you want to skip through parts. But it's important that you see I'm doing each horse the exact same way. And by that I mean I'm starting at the same place. I'm checking my time at the end of the run at the same place. Now I'm not stopping the run. I'm taking that moment and checking the time and writing it down. So I'm not actually stopping the run at that point, because then I might, miss a few seconds on the time. So I'm doing that, and then I compiled all of this, and I actually did a statistical analysis on a graphing calculator so we could see how the equation for the speed variables would weigh out. Okay, so what's going to happen is we're going to get to this bridge, and it's going to say the name of the location, and when it does, that's when I check the time, so 11 a.m. Now, this horse started to run at 7:30, so I subtracted. 11 minus 7.5 is 3.5 minutes. So we check this horse in and we get the next horse. And the next horse is a 5.35. Now, the best statistics I've seen for any horse in the game totals 13 points. I know the words, it could be a 4.45 or a 5.35, but it totals 13 if you added them all together. And I don't think it really means anything other than the fact that the highest I've seen in 5 playthroughs, and I love catching horses. That's one of my favorite things in the game is the horses. So the highest I've seen is 13 points. Now, if you've seen higher than that and it didn't come from an amiibo or something, let me know, because I'd be interested in knowing where that horse is just to mess with this some. Okay, now the important thing on this one is, and the reason I'm doing 2 horses that have the speed of 3, is I have to make sure that my time is going to be consistent. So if I have a variance in time of, say, more than 5 seconds, then I know something's kind of iffy with my method of doing this. But if I get the same time, then I think this is going to be a valid test. And I'm going to be quiet for a lot of this. If you're like me and just want to watch horses run, then definitely just watch, because to me it's a very peaceful, relaxing thing to do, is just watch it. Okay, if you're checking the map on the bottom right of the screen, you can see the route I'm taking. And I'm coming up to the bridge. I'm going to check my time when it says East Ocala Bridge, right at 3:30. So I'm writing this down, and then I'm going to teleport over to the stable and get my 4, 4, 5. So 4 strength, 4 speed, 5 stamina. And yeah, I know Blackfoot is a weird name for this horse that's dark in color with white feet, but I'm actually of the Blackfoot Nation, so I'm only 50%, but I'm very proud of the heritage. And this is the horse I take on all my adventuring, at least with this character. Now my 2 horses that had speed 3 both had times of 3.5 minutes. So that is important that their speeds are the same. Because if any of you have studied 7th or 8th grade math with all these Common Core standard things going on, part of one of the standards is you have to be able to define something as a function. And in this case, I'm defining it as a function for the purpose of just showing a statistical graph at the end of the video. So I do that. If they have the same speed but different times, you could not get a function out of this, because those data points would align vertically, in other words, straight up and down, if it's being graphed. But we do have a function because the data points that have the same speed do have the exact same time. In case you're wondering, geez, this guy's a math nerd. Yeah, it's true. I'm a lot of things, and math nerd is one of them. Okay, the bridge is now in sight. And I'm at 7:10 on the clock, even though it was hanging on 7:10 for about 2 seconds. Okay, so now I'm going to go to horses 253, and this one is reported by many to be the fastest horse in the game. At least the ones with 253 are the fastest ones. So we're going to look at this one. And as this one's getting ready to start out, I'll point out that the time so far for the horses with a speed of 3 has been 3.5 minutes. The time for the horse with a speed of 4, which is the one that just finished, was 2 minutes and 40 seconds. So that's basically 2.67 minutes. Now, nowhere in this test am I tapping the A button. So I'm not going to deplete any stamina or use up anything on their stamina gauge. And the reason for that is twofold. One, the last horse we're going to test is a giant horse, and his stamina is not listed. And if you try to dash with him or try to gallop at full speed, higher than what his 2 rating is, he won't do it. So it would not be a fair comparison to be tapping the A button just to be able to go faster with these horses when the stamina rating is different. And in case you're wondering, eating for enduro carrots works with every horse in the game except the giant horse. If I have him eat enduro carrots, he still doesn't get any stamina wheels or stamina spurs. What I call them wheels. I don't know. I'm crazy. And for the record, this horse does feel much faster than the one I'm used to using, which is the Speed 4. And I would expect that Speed 5 would be faster. Okay, the bridge is getting ready to come into view if we weren't having inclement weather. I'm at 10:45 now. It hung there for about 2 seconds. So now I'm checking the giant horse, which is 5-2- blank. The horse that was 253 managed to finish that route in 2.5 minutes. So the Speed 3 was 3.5 minutes, Speed 4 was 2.67 minutes, and Speed 5 is 2.5 minutes. So I'm expecting speed 2 to be dismally slow, at least more than 3.5 minutes to finish this route. And in all honesty, this horse just feels slow to me. And even though it has a strength of 5, anytime I've gone into a fight, even against Bokoblins on horseback, this horse dies really quick. Now this is a newer character for me, so this particular horse hasn't died, but just saying, anytime that I've been riding a giant horse and a fight ensued, it was run down really fast by Bokoblins and quickly killed off. You notice the little map on the bottom right of the screen. We're getting ready to go by the detour to Terrytown. We're passing that one up now. Okay, and this horse started at 11:30, so half an hour before midnight. And if you wonder how the clock works in the game, basically every hour of game clock is 1 minute of in real life. Okay, I can see the bridge. $155. Okay, so let me pause this. All right, so I'm just checking what the statistics are on each of the horses that we tried out on this experiment. Then I'm going to look at a statistical analysis of the whole thing. And time-wise, the horse's speed 2 had the same time as horse's speed 5. And in all actuality, it actually got to that bridge about 2 seconds faster. So we're doing statistical analysis. Speed 2 was 2.5 minutes, speed 3 was 3.5, speed 4 was 2 minutes and 40 seconds, which is 2 2/3. And speed 5 horse was 2.5 minutes. So if you look at the numbers here, speed 2 and 5, we're clocking at 2.5. Now, granted, the speed 2 horse did seem to hit that bridge about a second or two before the speed 5 horse. Now, I used those data points to put these dots on the graph and then figured out what the equation would be to make a line, or a curve in this case, go through those data points, so we would be able to actually predict statistics based on speed variables of the horses. So what happens is I go to calculate, and this is a cubic regression. If we try quartal regression, it actually gives an error message, but it's a cubic regression. And these are what the variables or the coefficients would be for the variables with the exponents. And then if I hit the graph button after this, it's going to show that curve with the dots. Okay, so what did I learn from this experiment? Well, it seems the 5.2 horse is the same speed as the 2.5 horse. And not that we're adding the numbers or anything, but the 5 speed and the 2 speed, which are the two bottom ones on the list, did seem to come in about the same time. The top 2 horses had a speed of 3, and they clocked in at 3.5 minutes. The middle horse, which has a speed of 4, clocked in at 2 minutes and 40 seconds, and the bottom two clocked in at 2.5 minutes. So which one is faster, that 253? Well, I don't think so based on these numbers. And I got the same type of results no matter what location I ran from and what location I ran to. And I did run all the way from the northeast on the map, where the Akala stable is, all the way down to the stable where the Gerudo Wasteland starts. And I got the same type of results. It just takes much longer to get there. I did the same test going to the Coliseum. Actually, I was finishing between the Coliseum and the Great Plateau, starting at the Akala stable, and still got the same type of results. The 2 horse was faster than the 3 and 4 and hit there about the same amount of time as the 5-speed horse. So if you think my numbers are in error, please run this experiment on your own. Try to make sure all your outside things are consistent. In other words, you're not going to stop to fight a monster, and you're not going to hit by lightning and things like that. And see what you come up for results. If for some reason your results are different than mine, leave a comment and let me know. And tell me how you tested it, and I'll run the same type of test, and I'll see if I came up with something similar to you. Okay, this is Talon with Old Guy Stuff on Busy Corner Lane with the statistical analysis of the different speeds that the horses in Breath of the Wild have. Have a safe, happy, peaceful, wonderful day, and goodbye.